Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.
El día de hoy en Rutas Alternas tenemos el enorme gusto de charlar con Nick Rattigan porque Current Joyce está de estreno, hay nuevas canciones del proyecto musical, está en puerta su próximo disco en estudio, así que todo eso es lo que vamos a charlar con Nick en esta videollamada el día de hoy. Hola Nick.
Hola.
How are you?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Todo bien, gracias. Do you speak Spanish?
Muy poquito.
Great, Nick. Where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles, California.
I figured that because of the city, you can learn a lot of Spanish, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's so segregated. You know, it's like you're not really mixing too much with a lot of different languages. But I have been in Mexico City once before with for a week, staying with a family.
Cool.
And no one spoke Spanish, and my Spanish just came out like crazy. I was remembering all of my studies in high school.
Oh.
It was all these little foods and things were coming out, so it was interesting.
It's a good reason to come more often to Mexico to play your music and to practice your Spanish, right?
Yeah, I love Mexico. I would love. I mean, I wish I spoke better Spanish. It's really a shame at this point that I
don't. So Nick, there's a new album from Current Joyce a few days away. What can you tell us about the creative process of making Voyager?
Oh geez, chaos and a lot of waiting. The songs I wrote 4 years ago now, some 5 years ago, three, 4, 5, and then recorded it 2 years ago, and in a studio, and then it's just been waiting for it to come out.
It's a long process. If you think that nowadays you can make a song in a few hours and put it in front of a million people or millions of people in social media, it's difficult to understand that it took you so long to make these songs. It's because of the pandemic, or because you want to make something different, something about a new concept of the band?
I think part of it was back maybe 4 years ago. It was okay, let's do something different, trying a different creative process with the band and writing different types of songs. But then the pandemic obviously delayed it a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. That's how I used to put out music, was just I would record it and upload it straight to the internet, and no one was listening to it. Just my friends or whoever, maybe some random people on Tumblr. But now that music has become very, picked up from TikTok or different, algorithmic things from no part of my own. And it's interesting that this newest record is the one that I put out in such a classical way of going into a studio and waiting and doing single releases, and so there's an irony to it, I think.
Yes, I know. And did you make it in your own studio, or you work with somebody?
No, I worked with Jarvis Tavernier, and my band, and we recorded it in Stinson Beach in beautiful sunny California, right on the ocean. A beautiful studio. And stayed there for about a week, lived in the studio and recorded it, and spent about a year mixing it.
Okay.
And editing it and adding things on top. So, but yeah, it was very interesting.
Nick, how important is for you your city, your environment, your community on the process of creating music? Because you are in a very cultural city, but also with a lot of different places, different weathers, different people. I mean.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Los Angeles is extremely segregated. It's such a big city, but you really get thrown into your pockets, and I feel like it's very different than maybe like a New York where you're kind of like forced to experience a lot of different environments or something. Like here you get in your car and you drive to exactly where you want to go, and there's a lot of like different worlds that are existing here, sort of almost on top of each other but not together, which I find very interesting. I mean, it's kind of just the way of the world almost now, a lot of different worlds existing in cyberspace as well, like but in completely different experiences of life. So but I think the city itself or my environment, I mean, it influences everybody, but I don't really know how to define it. It happens in such a ethereal way, like what energies are being passed through me and things like that. But in the community, it's such a strange way to, I guess, describe it. I feel very isolated, but yeah, I mean, it is very, whether I would say it was important or not, I think there is a large impact that the world surrounding you, your sphere, that is happening to you on a subconscious level,
Of course. Nick, you have released 3 singles before the release of the album, and I found very different between them. I love Money Making Machine. It's an amazing song. Very, very catchy, very explosive. And the other songs are more smoothie songs, more emotional. We can expect these ups and downs in your album?
Oh, yeah. Lots of twists and turns and ups and downs. I tried to make every song like unique and different and not sound like the next one, which I feel very excited about. I'm very excited for somebody to, I always want people to, like, it's almost a shame that I have to put out singles because I want people to listen to the whole thing start to finish, which is such a, almost cursed, which is such a,
you can do it. Please, you can do it. It's no problem.
It's a fucking old school concept.
I know.
Like everyone wants to, to some people, I still like listening to full albums. I appreciate full albums that are written in that way, but this one is definitely written in a way for you to like experience the whole thing, because there is, I even draw out charts of emotional, like where the listener should be at what time.
Cool.
Like, I like having like a very smooth, sensual song go into just like a chaotic punk, like crazy song with a lot of like different energy. And I like people to be sort of thrown through this thing, because that's, the experience of life is a lot of different types of emotions.
Absolutely. And as you said, it's important in a full leg album to have this narrative, to have this concert, because there are still a lot of music nerds like me that love to put an LP in a turntable and listen in a loud volume and understand what does an artist have to say in the album.
Yeah, exactly. And, I love that. It is niche. I mean, but there will always be people who want to experience that, and then there's also people who just want the hot single, but for me, I do it for the people who want to listen to the whole thing, like that's obviously like it's my album. I'm gonna do as much as I can to have the whole thing be like an experience.
Amazing. So, Matt, we will listen Voyager on May 14 through Secretly Canadian, right?
Yes.
How was working with them?
It was great. I signed with them after recording the record. It was sort of like after the experience of recording it. So but they've just been very friendly and with all the music video stuff and ideas, they're just like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, we want you to do whatever you want. So nice.
And also, Matt, you will have an streaming on May 17 for the release of the album, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have this like concert film Hopefully people will watch it, because in my parts of the world, it's concerts are just around the corner. So, but yeah, I'm really proud of it. I hope people watch it,
It's the Phantom of Highland Park Ebell. Ebell,
Yes.
right?
Yes, the Phantom of the Highland Park Ebell.
Cool.
It's like a concert film where the band is like rehearsing for a big performance play that we're about to do, and there's this I play a song and I accidentally awaken this phantom in the theater who like kind of haunts the production, like is looming around, like doing things to interfere, and it's great.
Looking forward to see the streaming, the Phantom of Highland Park Ebell on May 19, and to listen Voyager on May 14. I'm pretty sure that you will have an amazing time releasing the album and having this live stream.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a long time coming, a few years now. So
looking forward for the streaming, the album, and you can come to Mexico to play live.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I can.
We're gonna wait for a Current Joy show here in Mexico. In the meantime, we will listen Voyager on May 14, the new album of Current Joys. Matt, thank you so much for this chat with Rutas Alternas.
All right, thank you very much. It was great.
Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.